My name is Wanda Mitchell. I'm 61 years old. And 4 months ago, my 26-year-old niece Brianna moved into my house in Detroit with 3 suitcases, a ring light, and a promise that she'd only need a few weeks to get back on her feet. It's been 17 weeks. She still hasn't touched the ground. What she has touched is every corner of my house with her phone camera, turning my living room into a backdrop for her lifestyle content, my kitchen into a set for her, cooking tutorials she can't actually cook, and my patience into something I can no longer find. And when I finally asked her last week when she planned to contribute to the household expenses, minor things like rent, utilities, groceries, she looked at me with complete sincerity and said, "Auntie Wanda, I can't pay you in money right now, but I'm giving you something way more valuable exposure. I tag your house in all my posts. That's basically free advertising." I stared at her for a full 10 seconds before I said, "Baby, Detroit Edison doesn't accept exposure as payment. Neither does the water company, or the mortgage company, or literally anyone who keeps the lights on and the roof over our heads." She blinked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. But let me start from the beginning, because you need to understand how we got here. My brother Marcus, Brianna's father, called me last February sounding stressed. "Wanda, I need a favor. Brianna's lease is up and she's going through a transition period." "What kind of transition?" "She quit her job to focus on her social media full time. She's convinced she's about to go viral. She just needs a few months to build her following." I should have said no right then. But Marcus is my baby brother, and Brianna is my only niece, and family helps family. So I said yes. "Just a few months," I told him. "And she needs to contribute something. She will. Thank you, Wanda. You're saving her life." Brianna arrived on a cold Saturday morning in March with a U-Haul full of things that made absolutely no sense to me. 3 different sized ring lights, a green screen, a whole suitcase just for aesthetic props, boxes of clothes with the tags still on them, for try-on hauls, and more makeup than a department store counter. "Auntie Wanda," she squealed, hugging me. "Oh my God, your house is so cute. Very vintage vibes, very authentic Detroit. This is going to be perfect for my content." Content is what young people call the videos they make of themselves doing absolutely nothing productive. I showed her the spare bedroom, same one her daddy slept in when we were growing up. Clean, simple, functional. She walked in, looked around, and immediately started taking pictures. "The lighting in here is terrible," she announced. "But that's okay. I brought my own. Can I paint this wall? I'm thinking a blush pink accent wall. Very on brand." "You're not painting my wall. What about removable wallpaper? It's temporary." "Still no." She sighed, like I'd just ruined her entire career. Within 3 days, Brianna had transformed my house into what she called her content creation headquarters. The dining room table was covered with her laptop, iPad, phone, chargers, and something called a podcast microphone. Even though she doesn't have a podcast. "I'm preparing for when I launch it," she explained. "You have to be ready for opportunities." The living room became her filming studio. She'd set up her ring light, move my furniture around, film herself talking to her phone for 20 minutes, then move everything back. Except she never moved it back quite right, so my couch was now at a weird angle and my coffee table was blocking the TV. "Brianna," I said after the first week, "you can't just rearrange my house every day." "I'm not rearranging. I'm creating. Do you know how important good backdrops are for engagement? My followers expect quality content. How many followers do you have?" 8,412. But it's growing every day. I gained 30 followers just yesterday. I did the math in my head. At that rate, she'd have 1 million followers sometime around the year 2075. The kitchen became her cooking content studio, which was hilarious because Brianna can barely make toast without burning it. One morning, I came downstairs to find her filming herself making breakfast, which consisted of opening a box of fancy granola, pouring it into a bowl, adding oat milk that she'd asked me to buy, which cost twice as much as regular milk, and arranging it all while talking to her phone. Good morning, beautiful souls. Today, I'm nourishing my body with this amazing adaptogenic granola. It's gluten-free, dairy-free, basically free of anything that tastes good, but it's so good for you. Link in bio. She took 3 bites, got the footage she needed, and dumped the rest in the trash. Brianna, why are you throwing away perfectly good food? I already got the content, Auntie. I'm not actually hungry. Then why did you make it? For the aesthetic. I wanted to throw the whole phone away for the aesthetic, but I controlled myself. By week 3, I noticed a pattern. Brianna was treating my house like a free hotel and production studio, but she wasn't contributing to anything. She wasn't cleaning up after her content creation sessions. She wasn't buying groceries even though she was eating my food. She wasn't offering to help with bills even though she was running up my electricity with all her lights and charging stations. When I asked her about it, she said, Auntie Wanda, I'm in my investment phase right now. I can't make money yet because I'm building my brand. Once I hit 10,000 followers, I can start getting paid sponsorships. But right now, I have to spend all my time creating content. What were you doing at your job before you quit? I was a social media coordinator for a marketing firm. So you were getting paid to do social media? Yeah, but I was making content for other people. Now I'm building my brand. It's completely different. But you were making money. Money isn't everything, Auntie. Fulfillment matters. Authenticity matters. Living your purpose matters. Rent matters, I said, and your purpose needs to include contributing to this household. She looked genuinely confused. But I am contributing. I post about living here. I tag your neighborhood. People are seeing Detroit in a positive light because of my content. That's worth something. It's worth exactly $0, baby. You just don't understand the influencer economy. I understand the regular economy, where people exchange money for goods and services, like housing. She sighed and went back to her phone, probably to post something about how older generations don't get it. By week 6, things escalated. Brianna started filming day-in-the-life videos that featured my house prominently. There was footage of my living room, my kitchen, my backyard. She never asked permission. She just filmed everything and posted it. One video got 12,000 views. She was thrilled. Auntie, my authenticity video went viral. Well, viral for my account. People love seeing real Detroit life. Brianna, that's my house. You can't just post videos of my private space on the internet. But it's authentic content. That's what people want. They're tired of fake influencer houses. They want to see real people in real spaces. This real person wants privacy. Okay. I'll be more careful about what I show. She wasn't more careful. The next week, she posted a room tour of the guest bedroom, my hallway, and part of my bathroom. When I confronted her, she said, I didn't show your room, so I thought it was fine. The whole house is my room. I pay for all of it. Actually, technically, you pay for the mortgage, which means the bank owns most of it, she said with the confidence of someone who has never paid a mortgage in their life. I counted to 10 in my head, then 20. Then I went to my room before I said something I couldn't take back. Week 8 brought a new development. Brianna started receiving packages. Lots of packages. PR packages from brands, filled with free products they sent her, hoping she'd post about them. This is so exciting, she said, opening a box of skincare products that probably cost more than my grocery bill. Once you hit a certain follower count, brands just send you stuff for free. That's nice, I said. Are you going to sell any of it to help with rent? Sell it? No, I have to use it for content. That's the whole point. I create content featuring their products. They get exposure. I build my brand. It's symbiotic. You know what else is symbiotic? A niece who pays rent to the aunt who houses her. She laughed like I was joking. By week 10, I was done being subtle. I sat her down for a serious conversation. Brianna, I love you, but you've been here for over 2 months and you haven't contributed anything financially. I need help with the bills. How much do you need? $300 a month would help cover the extra utilities and food. She looked genuinely stricken. Auntie Wanda, I don't have $300. My entire income right now is maybe $40 a month from affiliate links, and that goes right back into my business. I'm buying props, paying for photo editing subscriptions, investing in my brand. Then maybe you need to get a regular job until your brand is profitable. She looked at me like I'd suggested she rob a bank. I can't get a regular job right now. This is my moment. If I stop creating content consistently, I'll lose momentum. The algorithm rewards daily posting. I'm this close to breakthrough. You've been this close to breakthrough for 3 months. These things take time. Do you know how long it took Kylie Jenner to build her empire? Kylie Jenner was already a millionaire when she started. You're living in my spare bedroom. You just don't believe in me, she said. And I could see tears forming. And that's when I felt like the bad guy, which is exactly what she wanted. I do believe in you, I said, softer. But believing in you doesn't pay my water bill. You're an adult, Brianna. Adults contribute to their households. I am contributing, just not financially. I'm creating value in other ways. Name one. Exposure, content, brand building. You could be benefiting from this too, you know. I could feature your life more prominently. We could do collaboration content. You could become an influencer too. Baby, I'm 61 years old. I don't want to be an influencer. I want to be able to afford my mortgage. She went to her room and didn't come out for the rest of the day. Week 12 brought the incident that changed everything. I came home from my shift at the hospital. I'm a nurse, real job, real paychecks, real contributions to society, and found Brianna filming a morning routine video in my kitchen at 6 p.m. with a full production setup that included 2 ring lights and a tripod. Hey, Auntie, she said cheerfully. Can you just walk through the background naturally? I'm filming a chaotic morning energy bit and I need some authentic household activity. Brianna, I just worked a 12-hour shift. I'm not background activity in my own house. It'll take 2 seconds. No, she huffed and turned off her camera. You've been really unsupportive lately. I've been using you lately. For free. It's not free. I pay an exposure. And that's when I snapped. Exposure doesn't pay bills, I said, louder than I meant to. Exposure doesn't keep the lights on. Exposure doesn't put food in the refrigerator. Exposure doesn't mean anything when Detroit Edison is asking for their $300. She stared at me, shocked. I don't usually yell. I've been patient, I continued. I've been understanding. I've let you turn my house into a film studio. I've bought the expensive groceries you need for your content. I've paid the extra electricity for your lights. I've respected your dream, even when you haven't respected my space. But I'm done with this exposure nonsense. But Auntie, here's what's going to happen. You have 2 choices. Choice 1, get a part-time job and contribute $300 a month to this household. You can still do your influencer thing in your free time. Choice 2, move out by the end of the month. That's not fair. You said I could stay here while I built my career. I said you could stay here for a few months while you got on your feet. It's been almost 4 months and your feet are still in the air, expecting me to carry you. Where am I supposed to go? Back to your parents? Or get a roommate? Or figure it out the way the rest of us do by getting a job? She started crying. Real tears this time, not the performance kind. You don't understand how hard I've been working. I create content every single day. I research trends. I edit videos. I engage with my followers. It's exhausting. I work 12-hour shifts on my feet taking care of sick people, I said, trying to stay calm. And I still come home and cook dinner and clean this house and pay all the bills. You're not the only one who's exhausted. This isn't about who's more tired. This is about you not supporting my dreams. I do support your dreams. I just can't fund them anymore. There's a difference. We didn't speak for 2 days after that fight. But something must have sunk in, because on day 3, Brianna came out of her room and said, I applied to some jobs. Really? Yeah. Part-time stuff. Retail, restaurants. places that will let me have flexible hours so I can still create content. Thank you, I said, genuinely relieved. I still think you don't understand the influencer economy, she added, but I get that you need help with bills, so I'll do it. 2 weeks later, Brianna started working 3 shifts a week at a boutique downtown. Her first paycheck, she handed me $300 cash. Here, she said, not quite making eye contact. Thank you, baby. You're welcome. It wasn't a warm moment, but it was progress. Over the next few weeks, something interesting happened. Brianna's content actually got better. She started making videos about the reality of being an aspiring influencer, the struggle, the rejection, the realization that exposure doesn't pay rent. She posted about getting her first real job in months and how humbling it was to work retail after having an office job. Those videos got more engagement than anything she'd posted before. People relate to struggle, she said one night while we were both in the kitchen. She was making actual dinner spaghetti. Nothing fancy, and I was meal prepping for my week. You're finally making authentic content, I said. The real kind. Not the aesthetic kind. Yeah, she admitted. Turns out people don't want to see perfect morning routines with expensive granola. They want to see someone figuring it out, being real. Imagine that. She smiled a little. You were right, Auntie. I was living in a fantasy. Thinking exposure was enough. Thinking my time was more valuable than everyone else's. I was being entitled. You were being young, I said. And you were believing the lie that passion doesn't need a plan. But passion without contribution is just a hobby. When did you get so wise? Around the same time I started paying bills, I said. Responsibility makes you smart real quick. We both laughed. A month after she started her job, Brianna posted a video that went genuinely viral. Not viral for her account. Actually viral. 400,000 views. It was titled, Why I Had to Get a Real Job While Being an Influencer. The truth no one talks about. In it, she talked honestly about moving in with me, about thinking exposure was valuable currency, about the moment I told her to get a job or get out, and about what she learned about real work, real value, and real adulting. The comments were overwhelmingly supportive. This is the realest influencer content I've ever seen. Thank you for being honest about the struggle. Your aunt sounds amazing. Listen to her. I needed to hear this. I've been treating my parents' house like a free studio too. Brands actually started reaching out to her after that video. Real sponsorships. Paid ones. Because she'd found her authentic voice by getting humble. She came home from work one evening, absolutely glowing. Auntie, I got a sponsorship deal. An actual paid one. $500 to make one video about their product. That's wonderful, baby. What's the product? Budget planning app. They said my financial come-to-Jesus moment content resonated with their brand message. I laughed so hard I almost cried. So you're getting paid to tell people to be responsible with money? Ironic, right? Very. But also, kind of perfect? I can actually help people avoid the mistakes I made. That feels good. Better than making fake morning routines. She sat down at the kitchen table, looking thoughtful. Auntie Wanda, I'm sorry. For everything. For expecting you to fund my dreams. For treating your house like a free studio. For thinking exposure was payment. For being disrespectful of your space and your money. I was wrong. Apology accepted. And thank you. For not kicking me out immediately. For giving me a deadline instead of just enabling me. For teaching me that bills matter and work matters and contribution matters. You're welcome. I have enough saved up now that I could probably get my own place again. But if it's okay with you, I'd like to stay a little longer. And pay you real money, $400 a month. You don't have to pay more than we agreed. I know, but I want to. I'm using your space, your electricity, your Wi-Fi. I should pay what it's worth. Deal. We shook on it like business partners. That was 2 months ago. Brianna still lives with me. She works 20 hours a week at the boutique and creates content in her free time. Her following has grown to 35,000, not because she's posting every day, but because she's posting honestly. She does videos about budgeting, about working retail while chasing dreams, about living with family as an adult, about the reality behind the influencer lifestyle. She's become known as the real talk influencer, and it's working way better than the aesthetic stuff ever did. Last week, a financial literacy company offered her a partnership deal worth $5,000. She's officially making more from influencing than from her retail job. "Should I quit the boutique?" she asked me. "That's your call," I said. "But remember how you got here. You got real. You got humble. You got a job. That's what made the influencer thing work." "So you think I should keep working?" "I think you should keep being the person who understands that exposure doesn't pay rent. Whether that means keeping the job or not, that's up to you. Just don't forget the lesson." "I won't," she promised. "How could I? You literally almost kicked me out." "Almost," I confirmed. "But you learned before it came to that." She's been promoting her new financial partnership on her Instagram, and the irony is not lost on either of us. The influencer, who once thought exposure was currency, is now getting paid real money to teach other people about financial responsibility. One of her recent videos featured me, with my permission this time. "This is my Aunt Wanda," she told her followers, camera pointed at both of us in the kitchen. "She's the one who taught me that exposure doesn't pay bills. She's the one who gave me a deadline to grow up. And she's the reason I'm standing here today with a real sponsorship deal. Because she loved me enough to stop enabling me." The video got 200,000 views, and the comments were beautiful. We all need an Aunt Wanda in our lives. This is what real love looks like: accountability. Shout out to the elders who keep it real with us. Someone even commented, "Can your aunt start her own channel?" I'd follow her immediately. I laughed when I read that. "I'm not trying to be an influencer, baby. I'm trying to be a nurse who pays her bills on time." "You're already influencing," Brianna said. "You influenced me to get my life together." "That's the only kind of influencing that matters," I said. "These days, Brianna pays her rent on time, cleans up after her content creation sessions, asks permission before filming in my spaces, and even cooks dinner once a week. She's getting better at it. But more importantly, she understands now that dreams need to be matched with action, that passion needs to be paired with contribution, and that nobody, not even family, owes you a free ride while you build your brand. She learned that exposure might get you likes and follows, but it's real work, real contribution, and real money that keeps the lights on and the roof over your head. And that's a lesson worth more than any viral video. Though I have to admit, the fact that her most successful content came from learning this lesson, that's pretty funny. "Auntie," Brianna said last night as we were washing dishes together, "do you think my followers would want to see content about intergenerational living? Like tips for adults living with family?" "Only if you're honest about it," I said. "No aesthetic nonsense. Real talk. Real talk only," she promised. "And I'll split the sponsorship money with you if I get a deal from it. Since you're technically my co-star now, keep your money, baby. Just keep paying your rent. Deal." We finished the dishes in comfortable silence, and I thought about how far she'd come. From entitled influencer who thought exposure was currency, to a young woman who understands that real value comes from real contribution. She's still chasing her dreams, still creating content, still building her brand. But now she's doing it while paying rent, being respectful, and understanding that the real exposure that matters is the kind that exposes you to reality and teaches you to grow from it. And honestly, I'm proud of her. Even if she did try to pay me in exposure first. Like this video if it touched something in you. Subscribe if you want to hear more stories about what it means to be human, to be family, and to choose love even when it's complicated. I'll see you next time.